You're listening to a Go Swoop Scoop on the application process. The Go Swoop Scoop voices the questions of international students. We recently spoke with Wesley Roy. He's the Associate Director of International Admissions at Roger Williams University in Bristol, Rhode Island. In this scoop, Wesley lets you know which things he looks for in a university or college application essay.
When it comes to English writing skills and the essay writing piece, it's extremely important that these essays are well written. We're looking for grammar, we're looking for punctuation, we're looking for it to really make sense. Schools that do not have remedial English language program or English language center, whatever it might be, the English really has to be up to the standard of acceptable in order for the admissions officers to feel confident that these students are going to be successful in the university setting. The essay should be something that students spend a lot of time on. Whether it's a one-page or two-page essay, you need to follow the instructions and the directions of that particular university. I think it's always good to have 2 or 3 essays in sort of your back pocket to make sure that the universities that you're applying for, the essay that's probably the most appropriate goes to that university in the application. The institutions one applies to may be very different from each other, so the essays have to be very tailored to that institution. One of the most important things to remember with the essay, never ever ever write Dear ABCDEFG University, because more likely than not, 75% of the time, that student will print that essay off 6 or 7 times and send the same exact letter to different universities or colleges. It doesn't sway an admissions officer's decision, but it looks sloppy, it looks unprofessional. I don't need to have something that says Dear Sir or Dear Ma'am or Dear Dean or Dear Director. Just have an essay. It can have a title, it doesn't have to have a title. This is such an individualized piece that we're looking for that individuality to come out in the application. With that being said, have your teachers assist you. Have your English teachers work with you in this, because this has to be a really polished piece of work. This has to be your work. By no means do we want anyone writing this for you. You need to do the writing. Have the assistance and have the knowledge to know that you can go to your teachers, you can go to your mentors and say, hey, can you look this over? Why don't you just check it out? What do you think of it? Do you see any issues with this? Does it make sense? How well does it read? Those are really important things. So use your teachers, use your resources, and have them help you in this process. Topics that I find are interesting are the ones that students come up with themselves. The Common Application, which is the application that most universities in the U.S. will use, asks 5 or 6 different questions, and most students that apply will follow those essay questions. Now, let's go back to who's your audience. Well, your audience could be a room full of admissions officers reading your essay out loud. It could be 1 person, it could be 2 people. So you have to remember that these admissions officers are reading thousands and thousands and thousands of the same exact essay. Write about your story. What makes you unique? Who are you? What are you doing? What's your story? Did you have a bad situation and you overcame adversity and a challenge, but you learned from it, you grew? Who's your mentor? What's a special trip in your life? Why do you want to apply to this university? What things can you bring to the university as far as characteristics? Those are all things that, from an essay perspective, that's what admissions officers are really looking for. Individuality, creativity, the ability to be genuine. I really appreciate a genuine, real essay. I don't like when I'm reading an essay and I'm seeing words that are plucked out of dictionaries and thesauruses, and I don't like to see that, because I know that that's not the language ability of that student, and I know that they took that step to put words in that are beyond their vocabulary. I think it weakens and it cheapens the overall essay. Use your own language, use your voice, and let that convey through. That's the most genuine thing you can do.
To learn more about Roger Williams University and to listen to more Scoop podcasts, visit Go Swoop at www.goswoop.com.